Welcome to Epi Studios. Thank you for being here today. Today we're going to be talking about 3 stitches, and we will be able to show you what you can do with those 3 stitches. I have a little surprise for you, so if you can please join me and watch the whole video. Look at this beautiful set. This is a little case. I don't know if you can see it completely in the shot, but we will be having a raffle, and you will be able to enter the raffle if you join my channel. And let me show you what's in this beautiful case. When you open the case, and the raffle will have a case very close to this, okay? It's not going to be exactly this one, because I don't know if I can still get this one, but you're going to get a case with all your beautiful hooks. Look at all those hooks you're going to get. Isn't this exciting? You're going to get your yarn needles. You're going to get your safety pins or stitch markers. You're going to get a tiny scissor. This might look different though, depending on the case that comes. This might look different, and you're going to get all your small needles that you can use to do all your amigurumi creatures and beautiful things. So if you can please join the channel, watch the videos, and you will be entered into a giveaway of this beautiful case. I'll leave you some pictures at the end of the video. Okay, but today we're going to concentrate on learning 3 stitches. And why these 3 stitches? Because these are the stitches we are going to use for our next project. So stay tuned. Let me get all the things you're going to need. Excuse me. You're going to need any yarn of your favorite color. I'm going to be using these 3. I'm going to be using this one, and this one. Okay, just to show you 3 stitches. Okay, so let me pause the video. Get your needle, get your scissors. We're going to get our scissors. This is my tiny scissor that I also travel with because it's small and they won't throw it away, like it happened to me in the last flight. So I'll tell you more about that. So get your yarn, get your hook, crochet needle ready, and let's get started. Here's a crochet hook that I will be using. If you can see, it's a 3.5. The yarn calls for a 6mm, but I'm going to use a 3.5 because I want my stitch to be very tight. Okay, here's my yarn. For all these 3 stitches, we're going to be chaining and starting the stitch. So we're going to start with the puff stitch. You can see here it says puff stitch, and I will show you the pictures in a little bit. So here's the start. We're going to start creating a chain, chaining 3 up, and then starting the stitch. Okay, so puff stitch is the first one. So here we go. Let's make a slip knot, and this is the way I make a slip knot. Grab a yarn, turn it, hold it, grab some yarn, pull it through, make it tight, and there's your slip knot. Okay, now we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's our 6 chains. Now you're gonna chain 3 more to go up. 3. There we go. There's 3 right here. These are the 3 that they chain up. Okay. Now we're going to chain 1 more to give us a space to go from here to here. So we're going to chain 1 And then if you go back 3, you end up here. We're going to go on the next chain right next to it to start our puff stitch. So you're going to grab some yarn, go through the 2 legs of that chain, pull some yarn, hold it, grab some yarn again, go through the same stitch, grab some yarn, pull it through. Make sure that when you're pulling, you're making it high enough to end up the same length, just like here. You see that? Okay. Grab some yarn. Depending on the yarn you're using, there's how many loops you're going to want to have on your hook. Look, here on the picture they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My yarn is I believe it's a size 4 or 3, and it's thick enough. I don't need to have 6 loops on my hook to make the puff. If it's full enough and the puff comes through correctly, if I like the way how thick it is, then 3 is enough. If you want it thicker, a thicker, more cushion to that puff, then you keep adding more yarn. But it all depends on the project you're working on, okay? So now you grab some yarn, you pull it through all of them, and then you grab some yarn and close it. See how easy it is? Very easy. Here we go. We chain 6, then we chain 3 to go up, 3, and then we chain 1. We left 1 space on the bottom, and then we created that puff. You see how easy it is? Here's the puff from both sides, front and back, looks the same. It's very thick, so if you see it from sideways, you can see that that puff stitch is thick. So grabbing 4 loops for me is enough for the project that I want to do. If you want it thicker, you're going to have to grab more yarn and give it more loops. That's all it takes to it. So let's do it again. I'm going to separate it by 2 chains, 1, 2 chains. Then I'm going to grab some yarn, leave 1, 2 chains, and on the 3rd one, put in your hook like this, grab some yarn. Make sure you hold it from the bottom. Stretch it. Don't be afraid to stretch your yarn. It's okay. Grab some yarn. Go through the hole again, through that chain. Pull it high to have the same length. Grab some yarn. Go through again, and this time I'm just going to make it with those 3. So you can see the difference. Grab some yarn, pull it through, pull it all of them. See how my yarn split? So that can happen. Now I have to do the whole thing again because this is a puff stitch. So let's do it again. And make sure that this time you grab the whole piece of yarn. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, grab some yarn. Make sure you grab the whole thing. Pass it through all the loops. Grab some yarn and close that puff stitch. Now we're going to chain 1 to give it a space. We're going to end up here with a double crochet. There we go. Pass it through your chain on the bottom and make a double crochet. There you go. And we are done with this puff stitch. See how it is? This is how it will end up. So here is your finished work on how to do a puff stitch. And here I'm going to push the book a little bit forward so you can see the instruction. And this is the first step that we did. We chained 6, we chained 3 more to create a double stitch going up, and we chain 1 to give it the space. We came back to the 4th chain, and then we left 1 chain, and we start making the loops on the same chain space. Then we created 4 loops on our hook, and we pass it through all of it, and then we closed it. So it's very easy to do the puff stitch. You just have to remember, what are you using the puff stitch for? And that's what is going to give you the design that you want. So you're designing a piece, and you have to decide what stitch you're going to use for that design. So this is our puff stitch. Now we're going to move to our bubble stitch. Okay, and we're going to use the same yarn. I'm going to undo it and show you the bubble, excuse me. Okay, we'll do it again. We'll do our slip knot. I just put my hook, turn it completely around, hold it with my fingers here, grab some yarn, pull it through, make it tight. There's our slip stitch. No big deal. Okay, now for the puff stitch, we're going to do the same. Chain 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to chain 3 to go up, 3, and then 1 to give it the space between here and here. So we have completely done chain 6, chain 3, plus 1 chain to give us that little space that we want. Okay? The bubble stitch is basically, you are making 3 join double crochets together, just like you see in the picture. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we leave 1 for space, and we're going to put our hook here. So you're going to grab some yarn, and you're going to try and start creating like a double crochet. And you're going to go it through once, and there, you're not going to finish. Grab some yarn, go through the same chain again, pass it through once. See, you can make that mistake very easy. And you're not going to finish. There's 2. Grab some yarn, pull it through the same chain. There you go. It's like you're having a half double crochet completed. Then once you have 3, you grab some yarn and pull it through all the loops. See? There it is. And here I'm going to make a chain so to give it a space so we can start creating the other one. See how simple that is? The only difference between a puff and a bubble is, to me, I like the puff better because it's chunkier. So the puff, you join still in the same chain, you put all the stitches. The same as the puff. But in the puff, you do not create like a half double crochet. You just are stretching each yarn strand to join it all together. In the bubble, you are creating a half double crochet, leaving the loop, the last loop, so it will give you 4 loops created in the same chain, and then you grab some yarn and pass it through all of them, and you end up with the stitch looking like this. See the difference? You have like a half double join all together on top. So for my purpose of the next project that I'm going to do, the puff looks better. Okay, so let's create another one so you can see how it's done. See the difference? Here is our bubble. To me, it's not thick enough to be like a bubble, because to me bubbles are like round. And this one is pretty flat. But this join here, depending on the color yarn you're using, it looks very pretty once you're designing a piece. So this part together, when it comes together here, looks very beautiful in different pieces. So again, depending on what you're designing, you are going to give it a different look. So let's chain another one to give enough space. Let's chain. So we ended up with 3 chains. We chain 1, 2, 3. grab some yarn, and 2 chains away, 1, 2, 3. On the third one, you're going to put your hook, grab some yarn, pull it through, and pass it through once only. You're going to end up with 2 loops. Grab some yarn, pass it through the same chain, pull it through once. You're going to end up with 3 loops. 1 more. Grab some yarn, pull it through, pass it through once. See how that looks? You end up with 4 loops. Now you're going to grab some yarn, pass it through all of them. You hear some noise. It's okay, my mailman is here. So see, it looks very pretty. Okay, we're gonna grab some yarn. 1, make a little tie. 2, and finish the double crochet just like on this side, on the other side. Grab some yarn, pass it through, grab some yarn. 1 and 2. That's my double crochet right there. And here we go. We have the finished product right here. See? It's very simple. And these stitches come handy when you are creating a big throw, when you're creating a big shawl. It gives you different textures, different looks. When you're designing a piece, you will see which stitch you really want to use. So here we go. That's that one. That's the bubble. Now we're going to move to the popcorn. Let me tell you, I like the popcorn a lot. Popcorn stitch. I like it a lot. I like it more than the bubble. The puff, I like it a lot too. So I tend to use this one and this one the most out of these 3 stitches. So let's go ahead and undo our work. And now I'm going to show you the popcorn. Again, we have our slip knot. We're going to chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to chain 3 going up, 2, 3. There's 3 plus 1 to give us space right here. Now we're on the popcorn. Okay, we have all our chains. Grab some yarn. We come back on the third, but we don't want it there. We want it on the next one to give it enough space. And we are going to create 3 double crochets, depending again on how the piece of that you're designing. You can make the popcorn stitch with more than 3 double crochets. Okay, there it is. We have 3 double crochets on the same chain. Just like the other 2 stitches, we always do it on the same chain. Now, the only difference here is that you're creating a full double crochet. Now you put your hook on the first chain of that double crochet and bring your yarn, your loop through it and make it tight. So basically your 3 stitches are going to join together here and create this nice stitch that comes out. If you see it sideways, it's popping out. So that's what makes the popcorn stitch. It's a very nice stitch. Now we're going to chain 2, 3 to give texture, like a 3D texture to a piece. So we chain 3. Now we're going to do it again. And we chain 2 on the bottom, skip 2 on the next one. You're going to make again. This time let's make it with 4 double crochets. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and let's do 1 more. There is 4. Stretch the yarn a little bit to make that big loop. Come back here, put your hook through there, grab your loop, pass it through, and voila, there we go. I tried to make it tight so that way, and I'm going to chain 1 so I can show you the difference. Look at the difference between the popcorn stitch with 3 and the popcorn stitch with 4 sideways. Let's see if you can see it sideways. Look at the difference. The popcorn with 4 sticks out more. The popcorn with 3 is a little bit flatter, but it still gives you a very good 3D definition. This is a little bit bigger. So let's chain 1 more, 2 more, and let's do a double crochet to finish your work. And there you go. We are done with the popcorn stitch. See the difference? Okay, let's go through the differences again. Here's the popcorn stitch right here. Let me bring the other yarn that I had finished earlier. Here, let me move the book a little bit this way. Here we have the puff stitch. See the difference? Round, more rounded from both sides. There it is. Here's the popcorn. Let's see which one this is. Oh, and I do have finished a little swatch of the puff. Excuse me, the bubble and puff. I'm sorry, puff and bubble. So I did it together so you can see the difference in this little swatch. Look at the difference, and this is why I say that I like the puff better. Because look at the difference between the bubble, which is this one right here, bubble and puff. The puff has a lot more, it's rounder, so it gives you a lot more 3D when you look at the work sideways. See? So here we go. Now you have learned 3 stitches. You have learned the puff right here, the bubble right here, you can see it, and our popcorn stitch right here. So we have 3 stitches. We have popcorn, bubble, and puff. You decide what type of designs you want to create. You decide how many stitches you do on each one. You will be your own designer. Make your pieces look beautiful. Show them off. Enjoy them. They are beautiful. I'm going to show you really quick before I start the Spanish video, which will be this same video but cut in half. One for Spanish, one for English. With the popcorn stitch, this is a surprise, surprise, surprise. We're going to use the puff stitch to create this beauty. Hello there, how are you? Hello, hello, hello. Look at this beautiful lady. This is our next project. We designed her to make a tutorial for you. Look how pretty she is. Look at that puff stitch. Look how beautiful it is. So these are pieces that you can create to use your stitches to create beautiful pieces like this young lady. You will see the tutorial for this class coming soon, very soon. And there's a surprise with this beautiful lady, okay? So you can use this stitch to create beautiful pieces like this one. And look also at the popcorn stitch. Here's our popcorn stitch. Look at this beautiful flower that we started to create. Since this is white, I don't know if you can see it very well, but look at the texture. It gives you a lot of texture. You can create beautiful flowers with this stitch and many other pieces that give you a 3D type of design. I hope you have enjoyed my channel. Please give me a thumbs up. Please like the video. Please leave your comment and please join the channel so you can win this beautiful, so you can enter a raffle and you can win this beautiful case. We're gonna have a raffle once we reach 500 subscribers, and maybe there will be another surprise with this beautiful case. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have learned a lot today, and many blessings to you, and hope to see you soon. Ciao.